For their purpose, I will explain a little bit to you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, to all of you. Again, I want to have a sincere welcome for your coming to WCO think tank called Zip and Vision, Wisdom and Vision House, where the original Lumbini P.H.D, Peace and Harmony District model is being laid out.
Yeah.
And so we want to make it very sanctuary. Sorry, we can walk over it, but actually we are walking over P.H.D. So it's nothing to do with impoliteness. As you know, what is there today is this. 1 mile by 3 miles. This is what's there today. And then goes down like this. This is 3 miles, 1 mile. This is north side toward Himalaya.
Yeah.
That's Indian side. This is India.
Yeah.
This is a demarcation line. This is existing. And as you know, there is a Korean temple, Japanese temple, Myanmar temple. These are all here. There's a hotel here, and also Peace Tower, Stupa, is located in this area. Right? Do you know this? So this is untouched. This is untouched. But eventually, this will be developed with this element. Like any other Sangha, this will become a Sangha. That's the first decision we have made, and we do not want to destroy or anything disturb existing development area done by your government some years ago. I always thought that Nepal is the only country in the world where 21st century world can rely on as far as real living role model country can become. And I always say Nepal is never-ending peace and love, Nepal. This is what I learned, and that's a very nice word. Now, with never-ending peace and love country between two largest countries in the world, which covers more than a quarter of the world population, you are the pivot point. With two elements. One is Himalaya mountains. The best physical nature treasure in the world is in your land. And number two is recognized but undone is Lumbini. Lumbini is spiritual culture, and it is the deepest spiritual culture. You have the highest natural physical nature, you have the deepest spiritual culture. You have both, and I really think you are endowed. And Prime Minister, with your leadership, I hope this can be realized. The first thing we did there was like this. When I was asked in 1999, January, by United Nations and Harvard University to make a plan for Lumbini, I disqualified myself because I wanted Lumbini or your leadership think about best possible talents in the world rather than me alone. So I gave them ample time until November. 11 months has have passed by, and they still come back to me. So I accepted. In November, I visited your country and Lumbini. At that time, the reason why I'm saying this is this. At that time, what I was teaching at Harvard University Divinity School with Professor Harvey Cox, the title of the course was called Jerusalem, Can We Live Together? That was interesting because Jerusalem means permanent peace. Word means that. And Professor Harvey Cox, most known scholar in religion, especially Christianity, had this very special course. And then I realized, Lumbini, can we live it together? So I really feel that there's some sort of a karma for me to be there. And the purpose of making this is try to make Lumbini to be a role model place where people in the world could come together to learn how to live together. So that became the purpose. And then what do I have to do? Was first thing was to listen. So first people I try to hear is Buddhist monks. I visited Ceylon and with Sri Lanka, Candies and the highest monk. I visited Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, Bangkok, Thailand, Tokyo, Seoul, Beijing. I even went to a plum village in France, visited Boston, visited so many places in the world to hear from high monk or peace-loving people or high scholars. And then another thing I did was to come to this area to listen to these villagers. As you know, we have about 11 villages. What do you call that? You have a name for that. But we visited all of them. Walked, stopped, walk and sit down, talk to people and listen to people. And from them, I try to see what they want with this area. I thought their inputs are most important. Basically, Buddhist leaders in the world, highest scholars in the world, and local residents. And they all said this should be a place of peace and harmony. And then I'm going to go a little bit quicker. The local residents, when we were having public hearing, they said this area should be called Lumbini, P.H.D.
In many areas, there are Muslim areas.
Muslim area, there are a lot of Muslims here.
Them also.
So I was also talked to them, I visited them.
What was their opinion at that?
Since Buddhism, that's a very good question, sir. Buddhism is a religion to accommodate any religions, and as a Buddhist sanctuary, we should accommodate them. Not only them, but Christians and other religious people should be coming in, and they should start to be interact each other to learn how to live together. It's difficult, a task, a challenge, but they are there, and it's a challenge, but it's good to use their inputs to interact. And so they called Peace and Harmony District, and then they said this should not be called Naga, which means city. This place should not be called Grama, which means village, but it has villages and city kind of dense area, so it should be called Nagrama. So Vishwa Shanti Nagrama is attached to Lumbini in your language. Lumbini Vishwa Shanti Nagrama, in English Lumbini P.H.D, Peace and Harmony District, were decided by the local residents when we were having it. So that was it. And then second decision by monks, that I got from them was this area should emulate lotus, Padme. So we have to make a city in the shape of lotus, which is very hard challenge. It's a hard challenge for architect planners to make a settlement area or a sanctuary in shape of lotus was the, and then second requirement was 3 treasures of Buddhism should be also symbolized. One is Buddha, and second one is Dharma, and the third one was Sangha. So very interestingly, they were able to be put it in there, as I was showing, 1 mile by 1 mile Buddha, where he was born right here. And then there's a ring, another mile here, from here to there. Dharma, a ring, was able to be put there. And then with 8 truth paths, we were able to make sanghas. So these are not my idea, but the idea of Buddhist monks and also the local residents. I just want to make that very clear. I'm very thankful to them. This area is Terai, they call Terai area. Some of these meandering rivers are going to Ganges, and very low, flat area. And
This is north, this is south, is it, sir?
this is south, this is north, and it's just very gradual, so river runs this way. These are untouched, and so with this Terai landforms, we were able to make this kind of thing very well. So another point I want to tell you is that the distance from here to the edge is 8 kilometers. And we put not only sanghas, but with the Dharma and Buddha, but we put upasaka and upasika. Because this is World Peace City, we will have people from all over the world coming in. So we made upasaka, upasika for the lay people from all over the world to come in from every corner of the globe, and they can first stay in one of their area. For instance, this side is north. Let's say this side is Scandinavian side. Then we have this 108 land parcels. They can purchase one parcel and they can build their eco-sound village with a community friendly. Examples right there, and they can have hotels if they want to, they can have lodge if they want to, they can have food as they want to. So there will be 108 different kinds of upasaka, upasika land parcels. But in Sangha area, as soon as you enter into this area of Buddha, Dharma, Sangha area, this will be all vegetarians. There will not be any meats. We should learn Dharma, we should practice. Each Sangha, as you see, the major, in the core is monastery area, which is almost like a shape of diamond. You can see diamond. It's shaped because the second layer of lotus petal, it's going through like this, so that people will be walking and they can go this way, and any new development will not disturb their very slow walking path, peaceful path. And then when you do that, you have sort of an area like diamond. Within that, we will put all kinds of monasteries plus temple stay schools and so on. So all of them have that. And then outside, as you can see, this particular one, this northeast west, this in the middle part, you can see the major villages here. So the outskirt road is meandering like this, not to touch anything. So it's a shape, again here it's like that. And within that, you can see this one is all existing as it is. So, and the new area, new residential area, as you can see, this very much squarey or with a middle garden is with about 20 or 12 family units, about 70 meter by 70 meters roughly, and then they can live together in community as well as privacy. They can have their own separate gateways and so on. And then some part of it, 10%, 20% or 30% of each unit, neighborhood unit, will be allocated for people coming from outside. They can come directly here, or from here, they can stay with the residents, Nepali residents, and this is called homestay. Homestay, temple stay. They will be learning the way the Nepali people live together in harmony and peacefully, and also they should share each other. So in Sanghas, there's no hotels. Because if you have hotels from outside, the tourists or pilgrims coming in, and then the money will be going there. It can go to New York, Tokyo, Beijing, Seoul, wherever. It's not right. So the people, pilgrims coming in and stay here any period of time, the money they donate, they pay, will remain here. So that's one of the also innovative thinking that we learn from Nepali people. So that's one. And then the total pictures look like this. As you can see, there's 8 sanghas with 8 truth paths. From here, 8 kilometers. If you walk continually like this, uninterrupted by any cars, it takes about 2 hours, 10,000 steps. So this plan was done, former president of Koika just arrived, and from Ambassador Park. He's now the dean in the school for international students in Kachan University. They provided funds with the United Nations support. So this is how it's all being done. Now for the implementation, which is very important, I'm going to stop with that implementation. The Mr. Young, the president of Kwaak Esprit, Environmental Studies and Policy Research Institute, and his staff studied and came up with an idea. The infrastructure of this all framework, the roads and so on, roads, and the irrigation, they need irrigation. You know, you can see all this, the road has irrigation ponds. So all that, it will cost, without land price, it will be $22 billion for infrastructure of doing all this. $2 billion.
In the whole area?
The whole area, without land. Because land, you can purchase it, and then it can be given to, as I mentioned to you, Lumbini P.H.D. Commission. They will have it, and they will resell it. So you don't have to count that in the beginning. Or we can have land pooling. So the people who already owned it will get like 50% of what's there, so they can build it and so on. So there are basically 2 ways of taking care of new residential areas in Sanghas and Upasakas. So excluding that, road, irrigation systems, all that, it will be $2 billion. So with that, we wanted the first try should be, one option was to make a Dharma Wheel Road, which is about 9 kilometers to 10 kilometers, which is about $20 million. $20 million are required, which is not much, to make this ring road, or to facilitate Sangha development quickly, this so-called middle ring road of Sanghas of about 20 kilometers. 20 kilometers, it will be about $50 million. So that should be done first, and then after they will do Sanghas, and Upasaka, Upasikas, the frame road would be done. And then slowly they can get into land side. So this is the price with 8 of them. And then we don't want any one country or one person or any organization to make donation or anything like that. We decided that we should recommend to you that peace-loving people in the world, Buddhists in the world, any organization in the world who have a fund to help, foundations and so on, they should be able to join in. So fund together, work together. So not one country is dominating over one, because I learned that if one country tried to do, the other country said no. I was in New Delhi, I was in Beijing, and see there's some differences, and we try to make a haven for humanity. This Lumbini P.H.D. Peace and Harmony District or Vishwa Shanti Nagrama to be made in the process very peacefully and harmonious way. So we have made many land parcels so that many people, many Buddhists, many peace-loving people in the world could participate. And I really wish Prime Minister, Nepali people, and Lumbini residents take some initial action to do it, to make this one, especially because, as we know, today, world is in trouble. Yeah. They have a problem with globalization, so people, everybody wanted globalization, but globalization made a lopsiding of wealth and powers and so on. So that's a problematic. And so I don't want to name people, but the so-called political leaders are making very strange remarks here and there. So it's trouble. We have environmental problems, climate problems. There's a major divide in the world economically and so on. And we know very well Syria, Iraq, and all the problems, Korea, North Korea problems. And so this is really right time. Nepal, never-ending peace and love country, with your leadership and other people's leadership, to start realizing this historical project. You have an unparalleled opportunity, and I wish you and Nepali people seize the opportunity, carpe diem, seize the day, and continue. I'm sorry this has been wasted too long time. So please, I would like your comment. Thank you very much. Namaste.
And I got the opportunity to get briefing about the Lumbini P.H.D. project. Very nicely a brief with us. It's a great project. It's a great project of 21st century. We Nepalese are very glad to know it. It has to be implemented in a very timely and in a very systematic way. And it is our commitment that we will implement it, and for the construction of such project, we Nepalese people would like to extend our deepest thanks to Professor Kwaak and his institution, his friends here. Thank you very much.